How you doing, guys? How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the Hot Box. As you can see, I tried to make some some good intro for this time. You guys are gonna tell me in the comments if you enjoyed that intro. If you did, and if you want me to add anything to that intro, please tell me. Today we've got three guests, all of them Man City fans. For this show today, we're going to talk about Kane. Where is Kane till today? We're also going to talk about the Spurs match and City match. City got beat 1-0. And then we're going to talk about my favorite City player, Benjamin Mendy, as I call him, Sam Mendy these days. So I'm joined by Hugo. How are you doing there, Hugo?
I'm good, Patrick.
Good. I'm also joined by Pitch Points. Pitch Points has got a YouTube channel, guys. Please follow him on Twitter. What's your Twitter again?
At Gundolorian, like Mandalorian, but Gundo.
Oh, that's good. Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan too.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, what's your YouTube?
Pitch Points at Pitch Points.
Pitch Points. Okay.
Yeah.
As always, we have the.
I'm still working on syncing both of them.
Okay. As always, we have got the passionate Adam. How you doing, Adam?
I'm good. How's everyone?
Well, good.
Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Okay, so as you guys can see today, the episode 4 of the Hot Box. This show started 4 weeks ago. Don't ask me what the Hot Box means. It's just some fancy name I picked up after I saw it somewhere. But anyway, I hope nobody sues me for that. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our new guest. Should I be calling new Pitch Point? So it's
just call me Carl. Like, that's my name.
Carl, yeah, Carl. So Carl. So let me just ask you, what do you think of the Hurricane situation right now? Yesterday he wasn't part of the Tottenham squad, and this morning though he's been put as one of the names on the Europa Conference Cup. So what do you think is happening with Hurricane right now? Do you have any hopes?
You know my position. I mean, we have a WhatsApp group, and I talk about the Hurricane Saga. For me, I just don't see how it's going to come. I mean, I'll be surprised. I'll be pleasantly surprised. I've told Hugo this. I'll be happy if he comes, but I think Daniel Levy's playing games. He has 3 years left of his contract. They have no reason to sell him. Maybe they have debt. For me, I'd rather take a gap year and go for a Haaland instead. I just don't feel that. Harry Kane, Daniel Levy, the whole saga that's going on is just the right thing. He's a great player, but does he excite you? Does he have that storyline of Haaland coming back if possible? Why are we spending 150 on him when we could spend more, a little bit more on Haaland and get more years out of him? So for me, I've always been skeptical about the whole Harry Kane deal. But if it happens, good for us. I'll take it. We'll move on. We'll try and win more trophies. But that's my position, mate.
Yeah, just before we move on, I just want to ask you this. I don't know if you heard about is it the director of football for Bayern Munich? He dropped a few sprinkles saying Haaland is one of the players we're looking at. You know yourself, when Bayern wants a player from Bundesliga side, and even if Bayern just hints that we're looking at somebody, you know what's happening. You know what's about to happen. Do you think Bayern maybe already have a lineup that Haaland is our guy?
The question is what he wants. He always say he wants to come to England, right? He was born in Leeds. He was a Man City fan from his youth. His dad played for Manchester City. His dad got injured by Man United is it some player from Roy Keane?
Lloyd King,
Yeah. So he wants England, right? What's he going to do in Germany? Win the Bundesliga for 100 times? What? If I'm his agent, and I'm not, I wish I was, come to England. Come to a place where you have history, where the fans will love you, even when you don't. You're not just going to come from Tottenham to City. You're coming back home. You're a prodigy. You're the kind of striker we need. You're worthy to wear Aguero's shirt to take his place. It's made for you, dude. Come. So for me, that's why Harry Kane. Okay, we'll take him. But Haaland coming back, the story would be phenomenal. I don't even mind losing the Premier League this year if we never get Haaland next year. That's how much I love the story of a Haaland coming in. If Haaland comes to City, it's done, mate. It's done. There's no question for me. But Harry Kane, okay, we'll take him if he comes. No worries.
Oh yeah, the cow. I get where you're coming from. I have looked at those pictures of Haaland as a kid with the City shirt, him attending those games. It would be a very good romantic story.
Yeah.
I hope maybe somewhere in Man City we are whispering in his father's ear, say, "Bring your son to us." But anyway, Hugo, going to you, the same question as Carl said. You can see he's very passionate about the whole Haaland thing and his opinion on Harry Kane. What's your position right now on Harry Kane? Do you want us to give up, or is there still hope? After you saw him not in the lineup yesterday, did your hope go up? Then this morning you saw him is in the Europa Conference list for Tottenham, and did your hope go down?
Well, yeah, Harry Kane wasn't my first choice to come to City because of age, because of the knocks that he gets from time to time playing at Tottenham. But you know, I was talking to Mikey one day, and Mikey said something to me. Mikey's like, Hugo, we're not gonna have Harry Kane playing all 4 competitions, which you know City partakes in. So he would not likely pick up all of those injuries, because for Tottenham, he has to play all of their competitions because they don't have anybody to give him any rest to come in, right? City does the rotation, so even though we need an out-and-out striker, we wouldn't have to use him every single day. We use him against the teams that we know we definitely need to beat, but then City doesn't necessarily need him to beat some teams. You understand? And to play like the Carabao Cup and that type of thing. So maybe he will be able to stay healthy during that time. I really think that we should have bought a striker before we even spent $100 million on Jack Grealish. I know this is a Harry Kane question, right? Yeah. But I don't know. Some of it, you have to listen to what Carl is saying, because we made a bid. You remember the first hot box, Patrick? I made the point that we made a bid on Harry Kane first. That was $100 million. That was an official
you
bid,
did, yeah.
right? Yeah. Yet still we are here. We've signed Grealish for $100 million, right? But yet still we don't know where Harry Kane is. Did my mood drop when I heard that he got registered for the European Conference League? No, it didn't. Because every club has to register people for what, right? But the rules have changed also. Even if he were to play and then move, even in January or whenever, he would be able to play for the next club. The rules have changed across Europe. UEFA changed those rules. But he hasn't played yet either. So even though they have registered him, right, it doesn't mean that he's going to play, because he didn't feature, like Gary Neville said, he wasn't on the bench like Sancho and other English players who were on the bench for their teams, even though they didn't play. The man wasn't available any at all. He wasn't there. We have hundreds of cameras covering the Premier League, and nobody was able to catch a glimpse of Harry Kane. So I don't know what's happening here. If City goes ahead and pays whatever amount of money that it could take to bring Harry Kane, then fine, right? I don't want us to take a gap year though, like what Carl is suggesting, but I still want us to go and get Haaland. If we can't get Harry Kane, get a striker. Doesn't have to be, or don't put Liam Delap on loan. Don't send Liam Delap on loan, right? We need to have somebody who wants to kick the ball at the goal, right? I mean, come on. If you even kick the ball at the goalkeeper, half of the time these days, those goalkeepers dive in anyway. So if you kick the ball straight, they dive out of the way. But we aren't kicking the ball at the goal. That's what we aren't doing, right? And I don't understand it. There are a couple of things that City hasn't been working on that a lot of people don't talk about. But these are the little things that will make us a better team. One of them is our dead ball, right? We're not that good at the dead ball situation. Last year, we started to improve from the corner kicks. Stone started to turn in a couple of them and that type of thing. But to the amount of free kicks that we're getting in and around the box, the amount of corners that we're getting, if we were converting 1 out of 10 of those chances each game, we would not have gone 270 minutes without scoring a goal, right? And because we don't have that is one of the main reasons why we definitely need a striker, right? That is what tells me that we need a striker more than anything else. The fact that we create 20-something corner kicks sometimes in a game and end up not scoring any goals, right? Add that to the free kicks that are around the box also. And we can't, no direct free kick, nothing that can go onto a striker's head and for them to head it into the goal. So Harry Kane wasn't really my pick if we go out and spend it, but I'm not gonna hold my breath waiting on Harry Kane either. But we should still get a striker to come in and help.
That's good. Look, before we move on to Adam, we've got a question for the panel here. It's like Rafael says, "Hello, my friends. Here in Brazil, we think the Europeans don't care about the Club World Cup. Is that true? So, what do you think there, guys? Do people in Europe don't care about the World Cup? You know, the World Cup club where you play with you've won the Europa and you've won the Champions League?
Yeah, I find it irrelevant. What's there to win about? It's just another trophy. That's it.
Well, do you take it as a major trophy, or you just take it as a friendly charity thing?
I just take it as a pre-season game.
I think it depends on if you won the Champions League or not. If you won the Champions League, clubs take it seriously. Like when Liverpool won the Champions League, they take it very seriously. I guarantee you, Chelsea will take it very seriously because to them, it's the gold badge, it's the whole world champions nonsense that gets banded about. People who don't win it, like, oh, it's a friendly. But in South America, it's a big thing. In the rest of the world, it's a big thing, right? It's going to get bigger if FIFA have their way. More teams, more clubs coming into play. So it depends on if you won it or if you didn't win it, right? If we had won the Champions League, it's going to be a big thing for me.
Patrick,
yeah.
If City were to win the Champions League and go into that competition and not win, we would be the laughing stock, right? It did happen to Manchester United when they won the treble, right? I don't remember if it was Corinthians or which team it was from down in South America. I think it was a Brazilian team, right? That beat them, right? Man United don't like to talk about that because they are the ones who will say it's nothing because they didn't win it that year. You get what I'm saying? But just if City were to win the Champions League and not win that competition, it would be talked about because Chelsea, I think, have won it, and Liverpool have won it, and so on. So it matters when you win the Champions League, like what Carl says. Once you win, you want to have that gold badge on you. It means that you're actually the best club in the world. Because winning in Europe, yes, you're the best club in Europe, but you're not officially the best club in the world if you can't beat clubs from Mexico and Brazil and Argentina. Come on.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Welcome, guys, in the comment. There's Hazy. How you doing, man? How you doing? Rafael, thank you for the question. So we're gonna move on to Adam. Adam, so what's your thought yourself on the same question? Harry Kane wasn't at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday during the game, and then he wasn't. But he's been registered for the European Conference Cup. So, what are your hopes on Harry Kane coming, or have you given up?
It's mixed emotions. 1 minute I'm confident. 1 minute is like a doubt. It's like, but I feel like I'll give two scenarios. The first scenario is where we just end up paying what Daniel Levy wants, or no. The second scenario is we just end up having we just end up walking away from the deal and then just having to stick with, say, the false nine position and then having to wait next season and then get, say, Haaland or someone like that. That's the two scenarios that I feel like could happen.
Okay, so you think we might just give up if they continue not negotiating with us?
That's how I feel like. If the first scenario doesn't happen, where we just end up paying them what they want and they still don't accept that, then we'll just go to the second scenario where we just say, you know what, there's no point of this headache, and just end up, whether the club will do it, that's a different story.
Yeah, because I was watching some lead a few minutes ago before we jumped here, and then I read another article from a guy from the same newspaper, or the guys who got the Grealish story right. The guys I am following them because they're the same ones who got the Diaz story right. These three guys. One of the guys says Tottenham, and after the Tottenham and Man City game, they were Tottenham and Man City had a meeting. They were speaking. Then Man City were given a deadline that, look, by this date, if you don't put in a bid of this amount or close to this amount, let's just forget this and we move on. Because apparently Tottenham have already identified players, and as soon as City put in that bid, they're saying they'll start buying those players. But I think there's a deadline, and somebody was saying by the end of this week, by Thursday, if there's nothing from City, like a big bid, I think we should start forgetting that there's going to be a striker at City, unless City have got a wild card hidden, like what they did with Diaz somewhere else. So look, Hugo, somebody has agreed with you. Well, is it Django or Django? It says, well said, Hugo. Okay, so guys, we're gonna move on to yesterday's painful defeat. It was painful for me because I said if Harry Kane doesn't show on that pitch, I told a few people that we are going to win that game. But I forgot the fact that every time we play Tottenham in the new stadium, we never score a goal. Yes, guys, the guys watching at home, you heard me right. Every time Man City have played in the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium since it was built, I don't know if Mourinho put some juju there or some witchcraft. We've never scored a goal, and we always play very well for the first half, for a few 15 minutes, and then Tottenham let's not even go far. Son always scores in that stadium against us. So, guys, I'm gonna start off with Hugo on this. What's your thought about yesterday's game? What things impressed you, and what things disappointed you?
What disappointed me is that we didn't score. Even though our striker hasn't come in as yet, really disappointed me because some chances were created. I remember Cancelo got one in the box there. He's not necessarily like a midfield player or what, but he was right up there and got a shot off. Nobody was really around him when he got the shot off. And we got a couple other shots that we took, but they were weak. Nobody was being clinical enough, right? And that's what has disappointed me mainly because from last year, from January 2020, from Aguero got injured, I said, listen, we're going to need a striker, right? Gabriel Jesus is not making it, right? Everybody likes to talk about when Gabriel Jesus just came in and how he pushed Aguero to the bench and all of this and whatever. Yeah, Pep was trying to, get whatever, and it worked because Aguero wasn't doing what Pep wanted him to do at the time, right? But Pep was fair because at the end of the day, Aguero got back his starting position and he was banging goals in left, right, and center, right? But Gabriel Jesus is not going to score goals for us, people. And what we want is not just the running in behind or anything like that. We need somebody who is going to score. We used a young Ferran Torres yesterday, but Ferran Torres was successful last season in the Champions League, not in the Premier League. A lot of people tend to think that, hey, it would work for him or whatever. He is coming from La Liga. He's used to playing in that type of system where there's a little bit more space, you understand? A little bit more time. And that's why he was able to be successful. I think we should still try and play Ferran Torres in that position in our group stage matches and all that type of stuff. When we're playing against teams like a La Liga team or a Ligue 1 team or whatever. But let us not trick ourselves. It would have been better yesterday had we played Raheem Sterling as the person up front yesterday. I really thought that we were going to put Grealish in the front three yesterday, and we were going to start with Bernardo, right? That's what I wanted. You remember we made our 11, right? And you remember this is what we had made. The next thing is, I'm not so disappointed because we basically did not have our best players on the field. I know some people blame the manager for not bringing back everybody on time, having everybody fit or whatever, right? But really and truly, 38 games, we need to be playing our best football in the middle of the season, not at the beginning. Yes, we don't want to have too slow of a start, but we don't want to get people injured early. Remember, Sane got injured last year, when he got injured, not last year, in a Community Shield game, right? Laporte got injured early last year. Ake got injured early last year. And here now, Kevin De Bruyne is already, he has already picked up an injury, right? It's best to take the guys back in little by little and get you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Maybe they're made of ice cream or something, right? But it's more important for us to be playing our best football, right? In September and October and November than in August. We have all of August to catch up. I'm sure City is going to catch on. We have never really started. I think 1 year when we did start very, very good was the first year, and we came third.
Yeah.
First, when Pep came, we had 9 straight wins before we lost, but we still came third. We didn't even come second that season. So, I mean, with that, I'm not so disappointed because Mendy and Ake would not play any game down in the middle of the season. They're not going to be playing. It's going to be Stones, Laporte, Diaz, whatever, but we don't want those guys to get injured early. So ease them back in, let them be at their proper fitness levels before we get them on the pitch.
So Patrick, I just want to pick it back on what Hugo's talking about. I agree with Hugo, by the way. So forget about the WhatsApp discussion. I agree with Hugo, but here's what the moment I saw Mendy and Ake in our defense against Tottenham, I knew we were not going to win. We're just not going to win. There's just no way you can play Mendy and Ake and play Ferran Torres as a false 9. And Sterling's first game back, he played Grealish, who doesn't understand the system yet, against Tottenham. First game at home with fans and everybody there. It was going to be a hard sell. Now, context is key, right? We always lose at Tottenham for some reason. Okay, this year we did better. We only lost 1-0, right? So, but we still won the league last year. We lost 2-0. Still won the league. The key for me is can we match our results and better them against those teams from last year? If we do that, if we match our results from last year, we're already at 86 points. Can we turn the ones that we lost into better performances? Then we're talking about 90 points, 93 points, and 90 points is what's going to win the league. So I agree with Hugo. We need to be patient. I know we're reactionary. Sometimes we always win the game. We want to dominate. United and Chelsea winning, we say, oh, they're winning. But the reality is that of all the games this weekend, our game was the hardest game, and it was away, and it was the first game.
Exactly.
So let's be patient. I'm talking to myself now. Let's be patient. Let's breathe. Let's try to enjoy. And I know the team will come back over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so Adam, I'm going to go to you. What do you think about yesterday's game? Do you agree with what Carl and Hugo are saying?
Yeah, like now that I sit back and look at it, I say to myself that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you could be sprinting in the beginning, but it's more important to think about the marathon at the end. There's still several games to go, 37 games. So you could have a brilliant start all you want, but yet you say towards the end you lose several games. That's where it costs you. So that's why when I look back at it now, it's upsetting that we lost, and all, but I take time and realize that, you know what, there's still several games left to go, and we had players injured and we need to ease them back into fitness.
Patrick, there's one more thing I want to point to Hugo, and
go ahead.
Help me out here, right?
Yeah.
So look at our rivals, right? United, they played Leeds this year, right? They won 5-1, right? On Saturday. Last year they won 6-2, right? Look at when Liverpool played Norwich, or the first game was against Leeds. They won last year. They won 3-0 this year. Chelsea won against Palace. They won last year, right? So all our rivals won. We lost against Tottenham. So in the bigger context of everything's pretty much the same. The question will be how we play against those teams that we lost, that we're supposed to win again. So, I'm talking to myself again here because I sometimes get upset, but let's be patient. Let's see what happens. Let's see how they react on Saturday or Sunday. And then let's see where we go from there against Arsenal, against Chelsea, and against Liverpool. So we'll see. I know they'll be fired up.
Yeah, what you're saying is right. I also have to calm down. Like yesterday, I made a reaction video, but that's what a reaction video is. As fans, for me, when I started off YouTube, it's all about fans because I used to sit at home and you try to join in and there's a queue. So I was like, I would just make a channel where everybody can just come in. Like it doesn't matter how big the channel comes, it's just for fans to talk. So I always speak for my fan and I will get emotional because I don't want to get beat. But there's a few things I saw yesterday. I just want to run with you guys before we move on to the next topic. I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm going to start with you, Carl. It looks like, this is to me, maybe I might be wrong. I might be overreacting again. Remember when we did the lineup, Hugo, we put in Bernardo Silva, right? And the reason why we put in Bernardo Silva is because we know he can press. And the time when De Bruyne was injured, and this is to City fans who are watching or people watching out there who keep saying Bernardo Silva is nothing. The only good thing he did was the Liverpool game. That's rival fans. I've been on few channels where people were telling me that Bernardo Silva is overrated. The only shining moment was the Liverpool game. Look, when De Bruyne gets injured majority of the time at City, we City fans know who's going to save us. It's always De Bruyne and Gundogan. And when those two guys are together in the midfield, it's very difficult for anybody to survive that midfield. It's as if Bernardo Silva and Gundogan have been let go out of a cage. They're now free to do whatever they want. So, look, for me, yesterday, I looked at the bench, right, and saw Bernardo Silva, and things were not going so well. In the midfield, guess what was happening? We couldn't press. These guys were too fast. We needed somebody like Bernardo Silva who runs and runs and runs for miles. But guess what? He was sitting right there, and I was watching Pep the whole time on the touchline. Obviously, we don't see everything in full. Not once when you saw Pep on the touchline, looked at Bernardo Silva's side and Laporte's side. That side was dead. He was always like this side, telling the other guys to warm up. So, is it because he's learned that maybe the last time when he played a player that was about to be sold, Sane, as Hugo said, he got injured, and then the price came from 80 million or 90 and went straight to 48. So what do you think? Do you think by looking at that, Carl, do you think Bernardo Silva's time is gone? Or it's just a matter that we're panicking as fans? Or maybe Pep is trying to teach him a lesson, saying, look, you wanted to leave, I'll not play you until you prove to me that you're ready to play.
So for those who say that Bernardo Silva is not good, I don't know what they're watching, because in that 18-19 season, Bernardo carried that team. Bernardo was the reason we won that league, 98 points. It was 98 points, whatever it was, right? That we beat Liverpool. It was because of Bernardo. De Bruyne was out all season, right? We won 4 trophies that season. And if not for, mistakes in the Tottenham game, would have got to the Champions League final. And I bet myself against Liverpool in that final that year. So Bernardo is a player. I've watched Bernardo play when I was at Monaco at the Etihad. Guy is a baller. The problem right now is that he wants to leave. Apparently, he wants to leave. Do you risk playing a player in a game when 2 weeks to the end of the transfer window and then he gets injured, like Sane did, and his price drops, when you've already spent the money on Jack Grealish? Remember, money's already gone, right? If he gets injured and he can't go, you're stuck, because then that affects your Kane transaction. So I can't blame the manager for that. It's clearly he wants to go. Laporte, on the other hand, ain't going anywhere. Nobody's going to pay 80 million for Laporte, because Laporte's he was a release clause guy. He wasn't a amortized guy. He's basically cash out. Then he's make their money back on him. I think Bernardo's gone, and it's a shame, because the incident that caused this problem, the whole racist issue, wasn't nothing to me. It was, it was a mistake that he made, not understanding the context. But it's two guys who love each other, who've been together since they were kids, and they're playing games. It's sad, but he has to protect him for the sale value.
Okay, that's good points there. What about yourself, Hugo? What do you think about that? What do you think the fact that yesterday the game was crying for somebody like Bernardo Silva? Gundogan was not pressing. I saw Jack Grealish pressing, which I was impressed by yesterday. The guy was actually running back. I think he wants to prove himself, but Bernardo Silva was on the bench. I think he could have done it. Would have brought much difference, but he was left on the bench until the final whistle. What do you think?
Yeah, it's always going to be a difficult call if a player is on the shelf. Basically, you have them there. They're advertised that somebody can come and get them, and then you play them. Injury gets shows all of that into a whirlwind. You don't want that type of thing to happen. But I think we did play Bernardo Silva in the Charity Shield, didn't we? Right. So he would have been one of the players that would have been more ready to play the Spurs game, right? Now we throw Jack Grealish in there, right? Nobody was saying Jack Grealish was going to be in the middle there when he was coming, right? Everybody thought that Jack Grealish was going to come to be a part of a front three, especially on that left side. They say he would be competing with Sterling and Foden for that position over there. Maybe we got it wrong yesterday. Maybe we got it wrong. Maybe Bernardo Silva should have been on the field. Maybe Jack Grealish should have been in that front three. As I said, I think I would have started with Grealish, Sterling, and Mahrez yesterday. I wouldn't have started with Ferran Torres, because it's the Premier League, as I said before. Ferran Torres isn't going to be able to think. And then having Raheem Sterling play that type of position yesterday, maybe they would have fouled him, maybe they didn't, but maybe the referee would have blown the whistle and said, hey, there's a penalty kick right there. Because we all know how skillful Raheem Sterling is. When a defender comes across him, if he doesn't know what he's doing, that man will just leave his foot there, take the hit, and go down. Yeah. So being in the box, I don't think Ferran is that type of player. Ferran doesn't draw fouls, right? Maybe even playing Grealish at that false nine would have been better for us, because maybe he wouldn't have scored, but maybe he would have drawn a foul in the box. You understand? So I mean, we made some little mistakes yesterday, but I mean, the Bernardo Silva thing, I would want to keep Bernardo Silva at City, but right now too, with Foden coming back, with Grealish that we have bought, I really think we're overloaded on midfielders. Yeah. We're overloaded now. Now we're overloaded. So, I mean, what are we gonna do now? You know, I mean, I really think that if we were to make a sensible buy, I told you this, Patrick, in a couple of hot boxes in the past. I don't remember which one, it was the first one or whatever. That it's the DM that bothers me. Because Fernandinho is 37 years old. Rodrigo gets criticized for the way he plays because of the back passes and the side passes. He's not as attacking. He's not the type of enforcer that Fernandinho is. But even if we had a little youngster, like an academy player, like how Chelsea used Billy Gilmore a couple seasons ago when Kante was down and whatever, and Billy Gilmore came in and played some good games for them. We can use one of our guys to start training with them from now, but we haven't really seen that. You understand what I'm saying? But we should be looking at a serious purchase for the defensive midfield position. Somebody who's more of an enforcer than Rodrigo. Not that we need to push out Rodrigo, but because he has his style, he seems to be a guy that plays fit, right? Because from he came, he's been playing that position, right? Fernandinho has been on the bench most of the time, and he maintained his fitness, right? If he got injured, maybe it was like for a week or two, but Rodrigo seems to be a guy that keeps himself in shape.
Yeah, that's true. So let me just read the comments before I go to Adam. So there's Blue, is it the Blue Studio podcast? How you doing, man? That's one of the guys in one of the groups. He invited me. Thanks for coming on. One Tally, as always, that's one of my friends. Is a United fan. I'm gonna have him here a few times for United versus City games. He's very opinionated. He has a very big, strong opinion. This guy, trust me. This is Michael. How you doing, man? Big up to yourself, Michael. So, Adam, did you read anything when you saw Bernardo Silva on the bench and he still stayed on the bench and that game was calling for somebody like him? Did that matter to you, or you're like, no, it doesn't matter, he wants to leave?
It did matter to me, but I feel like we're worried about his value, because we're concerned that if he gets injured, then we're concerned that maybe we'll end up getting less than what he's valued at. So we thought maybe, you know what, let's not risk him getting injured like what happened to Leroy Sané, and let's just take a gamble and just put him on the bench and not jeopardize the value that we would get, say if it's an Atletico or which other team that's linked to him. But what could be a good shout is like you've got Sao, I don't know his name, the one that plays for Atletico. Sao, whatever his name is. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name.
Is it Sao Negis or something? Sao Negis or something. Yeah.
He doesn't play that much. He's a defensive midfielder, so we could ask like in return, say like send them Bernardo Silva, and then say plus some cash, and then we get him in return. That
to
could
play
be
with Adam.
Hugo.
To play with Hugo.
He plays in defensive midfield.
Yeah,
You'd want Saul.
Hugo, question.
He's a decent player.
Okay. No, I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't go for that. But okay, I hear you.
Okay, great.
Hey,
go ahead,
Patrick, question for you guys. Just thinking about what happened last year with Diaz, right? Is it possible that this is all a game and that we're looking to give Bernardo for João Felix?
For João Felix?
Yeah.
I actually forgot about that.
Oh, you mean like the Koulibaly thing? No. Okay, let's get this right, and I'm gonna say this again. That Koulibaly thing wasn't fake. You know why it wasn't fake? Because the time when Diaz was announced that night, right out of nowhere, when people started posting that City website and on the City app said, "Welcome Koulibaly, win a Koulibaly shirt." I went to it myself. I'm a City member, logged in, Hugo. It said, "Welcome to City, Koulibaly. Get a signed City shirt by Koulibaly." So the marketing team messed up. They had Koulibaly merchandise ready, and they thought they were gonna close the deal. And then, boom! I don't know if Tiki and them guys just went and got Diaz, and the marketing team was caught off guard. So within few minutes, when people started tagging them, it took them almost 2 hours, Carl, to remove Koulibaly's name, Koulibaly's backstory, and put Diaz. But I know where you're coming from. That I think that deal was dead. That marketing thing, I think, was just a mistake. But I think that deal was dead, and that already started talking to. Is it Kaudi? Kaudi from Sevilla, they rejected us. Remember, they rejected us the 70 million. Kunde, yeah. So now they're selling him for 30, which is embarrassing. After they rejected our 70 plus Otamendi, and then boom, Diaz. But I've also been thinking of that at the back of my head. That is City. If since Atletico Madrid are desperate for Bernardo, as people saying, do you think City want to go back for the boy they always wanted?
I think Bernardo is going to Atleti. I think he's gone. I really think he's gone. And the rumors have been
because I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this though, Carl. So so Bernardo is leaving this week then, because we're all caught up on Kane coming in, which would be more important to us. Yes. But you believe that Bernardo is going to be going to Atletico this week?
No, that's a rumor I've heard. That's what seems to be the prevalent wisdom. At the end of the transfer window, Bernardo's going to leave. But also the fact that we've got Jack Grealish. Now we have too many midfielders. We're going to get Kane. We're going to have to get rid of somebody. Somebody's going to have to go. We can't have Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, Foden, all these guys, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, all there.
And keep them happy.
Also had Harry Kane. Somebody's going to have to give.
And then, but I probably will have to get Kane before we even move Bernardo, if anything. Because really, look at it, Carl. Thing is gone. What is it? Aguero is gone, right? And Garcia is gone. Both were members of the first team. We have only brought in Jack Grealish. So we really still have that one space left.
Correct.
Without letting anybody go.
Correct.
A lot of people are not looking at that. You understand? And the fact is, Garcia wasn't on that high of a wage, but I don't think Bernardo's wages are that high either. So if I
think it's 120 a week according to the list.
Yeah. So it's not in the 200 region, right? It's low, 100 low. Right.
I think if they can't get Kane, it's João Felix. I mean, that guy under Guardiola would be magic, in my opinion. This is just me, right? I mean, I could be completely wrong. That's fine. But under Guardiola, that guy would be magic. If
we were to make a signing like that, Carl, and keep it this quiet, right? I would go out and say that City have mastered the transfer window and giving it to all of us as fans who criticize them all the time. Because guess what? Last year, I did not want to sign Koulibaly. Main reason, same thing for Kane. Why I don't want him to sign Kane. Too old, right? Too old. But I wasn't looking at Ruben Diaz. I was looking at the guy at Leipzig. That's Upamecano. Right, that's who I was looking at, right? And then out of nowhere, we went and we signed Ruben Diaz, and it was the perfect signing. If City is gonna do something like that again, then I think we have to give them a break. After that, any transfer window that comes up, you guys better remain quiet.
but I get where Carl is coming from, because don't forget, we are the club that offered João Felix the deal of like, we pay for you, you stay at Benfica for a year, then you come in. I think they were trying to tell him that when Sané is gone, you come in. I think it was based on Sané, and instead he said, no, I want to go somewhere now, because we offered him that, and he said, no, I want to go somewhere now. For me personally, I think he made a mistake to go somewhere fast, but it's up to him anyway and his agents. I think he should have actually stayed at Benfica for one more year or few seasons and then go. So that was a good deal, but we were waiting for Sané to go, I think. So I think if Sané had left, Joao Felix could have walked through that door faster. I think so. If Sané had left very fast.
But just again, it thought from me, if the Kane thing drops off, it's an option. You know,
but how long do you how much do you think they're gonna get though? It's 170 from Benfica they paid.
Question: would you guys take Lautaro Martinez?
No,
I would. I would. I don't know about you guys. I would.
Inter Milan will not sell Lautaro Martinez now, just like how Haaland won't leave Dortmund now. They had to hold on to one of their key players. Yeah. You understand? So Dortmund decided they got a deal with Sancho early, so they took that money. If we had gone full out at Haaland from early, given them 100+ million, they would not have sold Sancho to Manchester United. And it's the same thing with Lautaro Martinez. He's gonna have to wait until maybe another 2 seasons, because Edin Dzeko, the replacement for Lukaku, isn't a long-term replacement either, right? So Lautaro Martinez is going to be at Inter Milan they're probably going to offer him a new contract.
I mean, either which way, whoever we get or we don't get, we just have to learn to trust the team. Seriously. I mean, to Hugo's point, Hugo is, you know, I'm glad Hugo's on the group, because Hugo's very optimistic, and I actually lean on Hugo a lot and his optimism, because the fact is we got to the Champions League final without a striker. In fact, without 2 strikers. Like Jesus wasn't there. We played some of the best football. We played in the hardest group, right? Of Bayern Munich, PSG, Dortmund side. We didn't play a Real Madrid that was half baked, and we didn't play Porto, and you didn't all that shit, right? We didn't do that, right? We played the hardest people in the group.
The hard side that nobody thought we're gonna make,
But Carl,
if not for that little mistake in the final, we're talking about something else right now.
Carl, that was the key for us. What if we had gotten who did Chelsea beat to get to the final?
Porto,
Atletico Madrid, Porto, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Who did they beat in the semi? It was Atletico, or
I think it was Real Madrid.
Atletico.
Real Madrid.
Right. We would have won. Look here. The problem is, look at who has knocked out City. City cannot play English teams or weak teams in the Champions League. We just can't. But give us the big boys. I've been saying this for years. Give us. I remember I was crying out for Real Madrid when we got them in that round of 16. I was crying out for them, and we killed them. We dealt with them easily. We beat them over both legs, and we were comfortable, very, very comfortable. I also remember when we played Barcelona. We were in a group with Barcelona.
Yeah,
and the way we played against them, I saw that we weren't afraid. You get what I'm saying? Our players tend to play based on the level of the competition. That's what I think. Yeah. And I think we underestimated Chelsea and dropped our levels.
Yeah.
If we had played a juggernaut, if we had played a Real Madrid or a Atletico Madrid or any team like that, it would have worked out better for us.
Yeah.
Because none of those teams have beaten us in the knockout stages for the last 4 years. It's been Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Lyon.
Yeah.
and Monaco in the quarters. Don't forget that fabulous Monaco team. Okay, look, for me, I'm just gonna close up on the Spurs and Man City game. For me, I think when I first met Hugo, and it was the first Hotbox episode, he said, Patrick, we need a DM. I was a bit skeptic. I didn't understand, but when I sat down, I understand. There's Lavia from the academy who we got from company. Lavia looks very good. I think Lavia, for me, would be a better choice than Gomez. Gomez is too short and doesn't seem to be very physical. Lavia looks like he's very good. And the City scouts have to start looking for a left back, DM, and a striker, even if they have to be doing it at the youth level. Because what I've noticed, Carl, I don't know if you've seen this. Guys, do you know that at our academies, right? We never have an out-and-out striker. Delap has been one of them. Delap. The Foden team with Sancho. It was Foden and Sancho swapping like this with Diaz. It was a fun three of swap. You know, like they first nine. They swap and we focus on midfielders, wingers. That's our thing. Midfielders, wingers, centre backs, 4 backs. It's only now they have started buying few 4 backs, but left backs at the academy, we actually took a right back and put him at the left back. We took a midfielder once and put him at the left back. I don't know what's happening. Those are our roots. And look at that. At our roots, we have got only 2 DMs that make sense. That's Gomez right now, proper DM, and Lavia. Yet, if you go attacking midfielders, a lot of them, they're everywhere. Yeah. These number 10s, they keep just flooding them, these technical players. So Delap was one of the strikers. Guess what we did to him? There was that Unai kid from Turkey. I don't know if you remember. Was it Unai?
Yeah, Cengiz Unai.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Guess what? We just bunked him out. And I had hope for him. So you see now Delap is nowhere to be seen. All I saw him was on Sky. I was surprised to see him. I was like, what is Delap doing on Sky? He was being interviewed. He had a City coat on him. He was somewhere at the ground at a charity thing. They were asking him that, do you see Grealish is going to City now? And they hear this Harry Kane. He said, look, Grealish and Kane, Grealish and De Bruyne being in one team is a dream for a striker. And you could see the kid in his eyes. He's like, I wish it was me at the end of those balls. And then they said, oh, Kane. He's like, if Kane actually comes there, it's going to be a very strong team. And I would like to learn from a striker like that. That's what he said. And that was a week ago on TV. I don't know where the kid is. He's not on official City the pages when they do the pictures. I am concerned because I was telling Hugo, this same Delap was the one Pep went in there. Now I've started doubting Pep when what he says. He said this kid, we're gonna bring him in the first team and he's gonna be with us. He's going nowhere. So now he's just disappeared. Some people say he's injured. Some people say he's at stock. For me, if it was up to me, we keep admiring Haaland. Oh, look at Haaland. But Delap is doing that in the under 23s.
I agree with you.
Delap is doing this. Like, have you seen Delap's? I see the games on the City Plus app. He scores goals that I've never seen Jesus score. I'm sorry, Jesus is a good player, but
Delap was way above the academy. I mean, the goals he was scoring in the academy were ridiculous. Right? I mean, just easy goals like that, easy, right? He would body somebody, boom, goal, right? It was too easy for him. And I watched the game against Burnley in the Carabao Cup when he played and scored that fantastic goal. The ball like Foden crossed the ball and he volleyed it one time.
Did you see that finish? What do other strikers do? They bend it. He hit it.
If we get Harry Kane, let this guy learn from Kane. At Carabao Cup, play him. Don't worry about Kane. Let Jesus go play on the wing. Let this kid learn from this guy. We can build our own Haaland with this kid. He is English. He has the physique. He has the speed. He has the aggression. Right? He's always getting a red card. He's always tearing people's shirts.
Carl.
Go ahead.
Why don't we use Delap, right? For this gap year that you're suggesting?
I agree.
And get Haaland and have both of them. They would both
100%. I'm with you.
That would be the best option.
I'm with you, man.
That Haaland has to learn.
I'm with you,
the
man.
only thing that Haaland needs in his career right now, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Haaland is better than Mbappe. Anybody who watching football and thinks that Mbappe is a better natural forward or a striker than Haaland doesn't know anything about football.
I agree with you, 100%.
Right? You see, Haaland only needs to have the right manager, and that is what he would get coming to City. Yeah. You understand? So if anything, I'm hoping, I don't know. If we get this Joe Felix thing, then that's fine. But I'd rather keep Delap and go for Haaland next year than even getting Joe Felix now.
That's the best thing to do. I don't get it. Because you know what? Haaland even never got an opportunity to play with De Bruyne and Mahrez and them. That he never. And for me, is this. Look, I'm not trying to hype him, but you can see, as Carl says, movement. It's the movement, the way he moves. And that goal he scored against Burnley, some strikers want to bend it. He makes sure. That's what Haaland also does. He makes sure he hits it so hard, there's no way. And he was running before it even went in. He knew my job is done. Other strikers have to look and make sure that is it gone in. You know what I mean?
Patrick, remember, he's playing against Burnley, physical, hard defenders, English defenders who are rugged.
Yeah.
He is what, 18, 19? He's playing against rugged Burnley defenders. Can you imagine when they got 21, 22, 23, and he's all grown up? Yeah. He's going to be bullying all these. He's going to be like Diogo Costa mixed with a Haaland.
Huh.
I mean, to Hugo's point, Mbappe can't touch Haaland.
No.
If you watch Haaland play, I watched him at Salzburg when he was Austria for Jesse Marsch's team, that US coach. This guy is phenomenal. I mean, he's a prodigy. That's why it hurts me sometimes. Kane. Focus on this guy, man. The story, the romance of bringing him back.
Yes.
As you know, wearing the shirt as a kid, his father playing for the club.
Yeah.
You can't beat that story. It sells shirts.
And I bet deep down inside he wanted to put on that shirt. You know what I mean? I even saw a Christmas photo or a picture of them. The kids, when they were kids, I think it was posted by him a long time ago. They put the City shirt and wrapped them around the Christmas tree. That dad's shirt has been wrapped around the tree when dad is coming back. But anyway, you see, this is what I'm disappointed by. I hope we're just making a mistake and maybe Delap is injured. I don't want him to go to Stoke. Like, why is he going to Stoke? Like, what is Stoke going to do for him?
I don't know, but you know his father played for Stoke, right? His father played for Stoke. He was Rory Delap. He was the guy that used to make the long throws in. Right. I don't know, man. If he goes to Stoke, if Delap goes to Stoke, I'm hoping that they play him, right? Because I wouldn't want him to be away from City for more than a year either. I'd want him to go get a lot of games. They play him and we take him back right away because sometimes these loans don't work out. People like Douglas Luiz haven't worked out for us. A DM that we're looking at now. Maybe we should have brought him back a long time ago. We wouldn't be having this discussion now about a DM. You understand? Yeah. So if we do send out the lap, we're going to have to bring him back after a year, man. We can't leave them out there on loan for too long.
Yeah, that's true. And another reason why we bought him, I don't know if you guys know, the reason why City bought Delap is because he was causing trouble for the under-23 Man City team. He was on. He used to play for Derby. So he used to be the guy who used to punish the Man City team. So they decided to just buy him and bring him in. So guys, look, there's a comment here. Somebody says Mendy out, Pep out. I'm pretty sure they're just joking. Yes, Haaland is younger and better.
You have to divide that up. They're joking over Pep. They're not joking over Mendy.
I know. Yeah. So look, now this brings us. I'm gonna start with you, Adam. I know you're so anxious to say this. Yesterday's game, right? Even though people were pointing fingers at Ake, I think Ake has been unfortunate, and I think this is what just for me. I think Ake can play better as a left back more than Mendy, and Ake is a very solid left back. And Pep, when he bought him, he was like, "Oh, Ake plays left back. That's why we bought him." I was like, "Jesus, thank you very much." Finally, and I saw him. Yeah. I was like, "Why don't you try him?" But okay, coming to you, Adam. What do you think? I don't know. I can't even say this. What do you think we should do with Sir Benjamin Mendy? Like, what else can we do? Like there's a question that was asked on Twitter, so I took that question. Somebody asked, it's a verified account, is a journalist. He said, "Is Benjamin Mendy the worst left back in the Premier League right now to date?"
I don't know. Yes, but the thing is, who would take him? That's the honest truth. Even if you offer him for 5 million, who would even want to buy him for 5 million? No team would want to take him out of our hands.
See, Patrick, if you
Carl, go ahead. I see you were very very anxious. Go ahead, Carl.
Benjamin Mendy saga is not one that started at City. Benjamin Mendy has never been a defensive left back. The game against City in the Champions League, Monaco, we put 5 past Monaco. You know why? Benjamin Mendy. I was at the stadium that day. Benjamin Mendy he's an attacking fullback. He's good. 4-4-2, attacking fullback with legs. But in a 4-3-3 system, in a possession-based system like we have, it's never going to work. When we started in 17-18, I remember when we were playing the 3-5-3, you got a 3-5-2, 3-4-3 against Watford, against Crystal Palace. Mendy was giving assists like no man's business. Why? Because he was in his natural.
I remember the 2 strikers in front, Aguero and Jesus.
Aguero. That's the best football I've seen. That's the best I've seen City play. Watford, City 6-0. Crystal Palace, City 5-0. Aguero and Jesus up front against Liverpool too. Best I've seen. Why Pep won't do that anymore, I don't know. But Mendy is good in that position, right? Because he attacks, sweeps the ball.
Carl, he's not the only wing back that we have like that either. The truth is that's the type of player that Zinchenko is.
Yeah,
that's
true.
the type of player that Cancelo is. And that is why I've been saying, play our 3 best defenders and then introduce one of these guys up into the midfield with our defensive midfielder and 2 attacking midfielders up there. And we don't have to play 2 strikers. We can still spread it out at the top. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think the pressure would be on our defenders that much. So we wouldn't be falling back into any defensive position too frequently. Because if I have Laporte, Ruben Diaz, and Stones, or even Walker, right, who is absolutely great in a back 3. He saved England this past Euro. I mean, the guys went past them, and it was Walker who came around there and saved the day. Yeah. So I think we need to look at the type of players that we have. If we're going to continue with 4, Benjamin Mendy cannot play.
Correct.
We don't need to worry about selling Mendy because nobody's going to buy him. Adam, I agree with you on that, but this is the part about it. We have options. We aren't forced to play Benjamin Mendy. Zinchenko has been the successful left back for us for 2.5, almost 3 years, right? Mm-hmm. It's Ake is a better left back than Benjamin Mendy is. And the truth is Laporte can play there if needs be.
Yes.
You understand? Cancelo, who is on the right, can also play over there if needs be. So come on, let us not worry about Mendy and act as if Mendy is the biggest headache that City has. Mendy should not be a problem because Mendy shouldn't be on the field. If Mendy isn't on the field, Mendy is not a problem to City. We don't need to sell Mendy to get any money either because we have other players. Let the contract run out and then walk him through the door.
But Hugo makes a good point because I think the back 3 is probably the best system for us, right? Diaz, Stones, Laporte, or Diaz, Stones, and Walker, right? And let Mendy and Zinchenko play there. Heck,
exactly.
Ake can be like Fabian Delph was in 17-18. Left back control, defend control. Let Walker, let all these De Bruyne, let them all run. But you solidify the left back with a person who can actually defend and use Walker's pace on the right to help provide to get a counterattack. So I think the more I think about the game yesterday, the more I think Pep knew that this was a write-off. I mean, I watched the interview after the game. He just seemed like he wasn't too bothered about the result. He knew that this is a risk I'm going to take. I'm just going to, it happens. We'll get better. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. But for me, look, I have so many words for Mendy. I think for me, it's quite heartbreaking. Look, it's Pep who's the coach. He's a genius and he's won a lot. But even a child can see when watching the football that this brother right here is gone. He at least in the beginning, what he had was he could pass the ball. But do you know what I noticed, Hugo? And I noticed this now. And I was also giving out to City fans. City fans, we guys are City fans, we forget fast and we are horrible. We are horrible fans. We try to say, oh, we are good fans. We're also horrible. Do you remember when all of us here on Twitter, all of us on the Twitterverse, we're crying over Laporte when he got injured. We cried over Laporte. We were when he was at the stadium, we were tweeting and tagging him. Laporte, get well soon, come back. Oh, he's back. Look at him. Those pictures, memes about him eating. He was eating chips or something or meatballs, he says, in the stadium. Remember? People were like, Laporte is here. We forgot how good this guy was. He was carrying our defense. As soon as Diaz came, we forgot Laporte. He has to go. But do you know what I noticed, Hugo? I noticed that the reason why Mendy looked good in most of the games when he first came, Laporte was next to him, sweeping for him. When Mendy goes that side, I noticed Walker was staying back, was not going in front anymore. What was doing is it's Walker or the defensive midfielder was also dropping back, and then Laporte was moving over to the left and covering for Mendy. And Laporte is very good at covering for people. So he was covering the left-hand side. But now, since Laporte is no longer played, Diaz might be great, but I think Diaz concentrates mostly on his partner. I don't know if you've noticed that. Diaz is my partner. You know, my partner, my centre-back partner. He's sort of a defender who's always talking to his partner. Let's do this. While Laporte was always shifting, you could find Laporte to the left. Do you remember a few times in the games you used to see Laporte go in front at the left back side while the DM comes back? So Laporte, as Hugo says, looks like he can play the left back side and he's very good to do that. But since Laporte just went, Mendy has been getting exposed too much, more than he should. But also, what I've noticed is, I don't know if Mendy takes football seriously. Against Barnsley, right? He made that mistake which he made against Spurs, where he wanted to turn his player. He made it against Barnsley in preseason. He did it again with Spurs yesterday. About 5 times in the Barnsley game, he lost the ball. Yesterday, it was about 6 times he lost the ball trying to do these cute passes, you know? Like, I for me, as Hugo says, it's either we run that contract down, or as Adam said off camera, Carl, you were not here. Adam had a very good idea. Do you remember that team we bought with the CFG group, the French team that got promoted to League One?
Troyes.
Yeah, can we not just go there and say, Mendy, here you go, try, let's see how you do in France, because this is what...
Don't take it.
There's no need to do that. There's no need to do that. There's probably some little kid down there that's trying to develop his game, and you're going to cut his game just to get Benjamin Mendy some game time. Look, let Benjamin Mendy stay where he is, have him in training and whatever, but just do not play him. He doesn't even need to be on the bench. Benjamin Mendy doesn't need to be on the bench.
Patrick, to your point, so Laporte and Mendy, you know, they played at the under-21 for France. So Laporte was always covering for Mendy, even when he was at the under-21s. That's why they have that relationship, right? Being able to cover for each other. So they understand.
Was he? Well. Is that why?
Yeah.
Because you know what? I also noticed when you watch your games, Hugo, go back if you have time, just see a few things.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also because of the French, because he kept on they keeps
together.
Controlling him, controlling him where to be, where to sit
together. Under 21s, they play together, so they know each other very well. The system, they know how to cover for each other. He knows Benjamin very, very well.
Now that makes sense, because I was wondering, Mendy looked good when Laporte was there. Mendy looked very good.
Is the best left-footed centre back in the Premier League, probably in world football.
Facts.
Period.
I don't see why we should bench any one of our good defenders right now. We should not bench any of our good defenders right now.
Okay.
The best option is to play 3 at the back. That could be a good option.
It's the best thing that I can see right now. Or play Laporte as a left back. Whatever you have to do. But
Laporte will get the ball.
Laporte can't be on the bench. It makes no sense.
Switch the ball to the right. No one does it better.
No, exactly. Switch the ball right from the left.
No one does it better. No one.
Wasn't that what your man complained after we beat West Brom or some team, and the coach was like, this team is good, and they just added Laporte, who my defenders were complaining that we are trying our best, but when he switches the ball to the right-hand side over the top, it's difficult. Yeah. I don't know where it went wrong with Laporte, because at the end of the day, it was never his fault. That those defensive issues that happened during that season were never his fault. I don't know if Pep went there and started blaming him because that's what the relationship went bad. But during that time, it was because we decided to take Fernandinho, who was helping us in the middle and protecting the back, and send him at the back. And we were playing Garcia because Garcia was Pep's stepson and son from somewhere. So
let us not forget. Come on, let us not forget what really happened. Patrick, Laporte was our best centre back, and he was playing there. And Pep was rotating who played with him. He was experimenting with Fernandinho, which did not work. John Stones was having problems. Whether injury or form, he was having problems. When Ruben Diaz was bought, right? Ruben Diaz was bought to come into partner with Laporte. Laporte wasn't yet injured, right? Laporte got injured at the same time when Ruben Diaz came. And that is at the same time when Stones came in and started to play properly. No, you can't blame Pep for not mashing up that partnership. It's already going good. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. And that is why
don't break something that's already
for all of last year. But now that you're starting fresh, give everybody a clean slate and let us see what happens. And for me, I would not bench my best defenders. I
agree.
Okay. So Ans Lester fan channel, how you doing, man? How doing? Thanks for tuning in. He says there's only one seat here. Hope you're all having a good evening. Okay, that's a bundle from him. Look, for me, guys, I am. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm being evil, but I don't want to see Benjamin Mendy in that lineup again. I don't want to see him. I would rather even who was that? You know, Trevor. What's his name? Is it Trevor Sinclair? Tweeted. Is there a left back in the academy who is half decent? A left back in the academy, he says there must be some kid in our academy who's a left back, who's half decent. Give him a chance. Please throw that kid in there. Mendy, unfortunately, I loved you when you first came. You were one of the guys who brought sunshine, banter. Some of your actions were iffy, but I think you can't just defend. Gary Neville was right. You can't defend. Unfortunately, you can't. So, guys, look, thanks for coming. We're going to close it here. Yeah. But before you go, I'm just going to ask, starting Carl, how do you feel about us going forward for the season? How do you feel? If we don't get Kane, that is.
If we don't get Kane, I think we'll be fine. Why do I think we'll be fine? Because we've won the league without Kane, without a striker. And we have the best manager in world football. Who knows how to win things? Who knows how to solve problems? I think we'll be fine. I think my issue is just that are the players ready until they have the energy and the drive to win the Premier League again? Champions League, I know they want that because they lost it the last time. But are they ready for the Premier League again? Can they go again, given with all that's chasing? That's my only concern. But apart from that, I think we'll be fine. Let's see how we roll on Saturday, then against Arsenal and against Chelsea.
Okay. What about you, Adam? What do you think we're gonna do this season if we don't get a striker or Kane?
Like the other panel said, I agree with him. Is like we still got the players and the quality to continue. So I'm still like whether the players have the fitness and the motivation to win the Premier League again. That's the thing that you question. But other than that, you can see that we've got the quality and the players and the personnel to win the Premier League again.
Okay. What about yourself, Hugo? Just the first one. How do you feel if we don't get a striker or Kane? How do you think we're going to do this season?
I don't think we are going to August 31st. City is going to sign a striker, even if it's not Harry Kane.
Oh, that's a very strong feeling, isn't it?
City's okay. They're used to it. They got what happened last year with Koulibaly. We didn't get Koulibaly. We made De Laurentiis thought that he was going to drag us out and we would be left flat on our face. And then we made our deal. We might not get Kane, but we are going to get a sensible center forward that De Bruyne, Foden, Sterling, Mahrez can all play with as the arrowhead, as the point of the arrow, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. We're going to get somebody. May not be a brand name, but Ruben Diaz wasn't a brand name.
What about that tall defender we found out who's been? Did you guys read about that 6'9" defender? Now he's been reported by even Sky reported him. I'm now surprised. He's been reported by very reliable sources that City are looking at this 20-year-old 6-foot defender. I hope it's for loaning him out. I hope maybe it's option 2. Maybe Jesus is on his way out. For me, I would be happy for the first time in my life to see City have a tall defender. We always seem to go for very short defenders who are good at heading but not very dominant. So anyway, I hope if that's the guy who they've seen as plan 2, I'm not going to object. If it's him and Kane, I'm not going to object. So guys, on that note, thank you very much, Adam, Hugo, and Carl for coming on. And as I told you guys, Carl is from Pitch Points, and he has a channel on YouTube. Please go check out his channel. What time is it there, Carl?
Right now, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. So we have a show coming up in 3 hours' time over here with 1 or 2 City fans. So if anybody's available, just hit me up. We'll add you to the conversation.
I'm actually not working tomorrow, Carl. So. Okay. If I'm awake, I'm going to text you, and I think I might actually jump on your channel for the first time.
Same thing as well, man. It's just,
What's the channel called again?
Sorry?
What's the channel called, sorry?
It's called Pitch Points. Pitch Point
Okay.
at Pitch Point. It's on YouTube at Pitch Points. So
I'll check it out now.
Yeah.
So Carl, go ahead, tell the audience your channel and where they can find you.
Yeah, YouTube channel at Pitch Points. Check it out. It's about football in general, but more about City. And then my Twitter handle is at Gundalorian. So think of Mandalorian, but Gundalorian. That's where I'm at. I love the club. I love the fans. I'm controversial at times, but I try to listen to.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's Carl. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to the 4th episode of the Hot Box. I've been enjoying the feedback from you guys. Most of you guys DM me nudes. Not nudes, news. That Jesus Christ. News, not nudes. That's gonna be one of the highlight reels of this thing.
Careful,
but I've loved your support.
you.
I know, and I've loved the support for the first week. Very high support throughout the channel. You guys are supporting, and always in the comments. Thank you, all of you. As I say, subscribe to Carl's channel, subscribe to this channel, True City Fan, and Hugo and Adam and Pakao. I'll see you on the group, and I'll see you on your channel if I'm not asleep. So that's all from guys. Bye.
Take care. Enjoy.
Okay.
Oh, man, cool. Take care.
Bye.